If you're considering upgrading your home or renovating it to meet your needs, there are three things you should consider before making your decision without regret later on. My name is Jeff Elias, founder of FutureBound, and this is my wife Jackie, CEO of FutureBound. We specialize in helping you to get mortgage and financially free by providing mortgage advice, financial education, and online courses to help you build a strong financial foundation so that you can create generational wealth and live the life of fulfillment that you want.
And if you like this video, make sure to follow us on social media to get more financial tips and guidance. Enough about us, let's get into it. So our story, we actually had been dealing with this recently, haven't we? We've been looking at, should we upgrade, should we renovate? We have a large family, we have 5 children, and we're always looking at how can we also build wealth as well. So trying to juggle the two of them, do we actually buy another house? Actually, when we moved into our house, the month after that, this one is saying, our next house is going to be, and I'm like, I don't want to think about that because it didn't have everything that we wanted. So obviously we're in Wellington and in the market, you can't just kind of cherry pick the house you want. There's a lot of restrictions. So we were looking at what's a house that can better meet our needs. And we almost bought another house, didn't we?
Yeah, that's right. But in the end, what we had to, the kind of the tough decision that we made was based on our age and stage in life. And we sort of realized that there's only so many times that you can upgrade your house and borrow more money to do that, because you can maybe buy let's say for example you bought your first house in your late 20s or early 30s, and then you might upgrade it again, and then you might upgrade it again. But if you're upgrading it, like say into your 50s, and I'm still 49, so I'm not quite there, but I'm close. But if you keep upgrading your house too much, what that means is that you're actually just paying a mortgage for pretty much your whole adult life. And if you're paying a mortgage for your whole adult life, it's really, really hard for you to get financially ahead, because you're always giving away such a large percentage of your income to the bank, right? And so as a result of that, I actually was really uncomfortable with the idea of taking on a bigger mortgage and upgrading to a more expensive house. And yeah, it would have been nice to have a nicer house and a more expensive house, but in the end we made the decision not to do that, because we didn't want to go back to having a big fat mortgage again at the age of 49, about to turn 50 at the end of this year. I thought, well, if I take on a big fat mortgage again, then I'm going to be we're going to be paying a mortgage well through our 50s, and I don't want to do that. And so we decided to make do and do some renovation work on our house to make it more manageable or more livable, and that was the compromise, right? Rather than taking on more debt.
Yeah. So what would you say about what? It's not actually like a hard and fast age limit, is it? It's more of age and stage, and considering where you are, because you might decide, I might be 40, which I am, and actually I don't want to keep upgrading even though up until 50, I want to start really focusing on wealth building, because that's the second consideration is, what are you doing in the wealth building space? Are you trying to buy investment properties? Are you trying to pay down your mortgage faster so you can get a lot of equity, so you can add more properties to your portfolio?
That's right.
All of those kinds of things.
As soon as you're freehold, it is just so much easier for you to build your wealth. And when you're carrying a mortgage and you're paying mortgage repayments, it's so much harder to build your wealth. You're giving away so much of your money. So I'm a big fan of getting freehold as fast as you can. We talk about this a lot, and I say to people, look, if you can get freehold within 5 or 10 years of buying your house, that's life-changing. That gives you a lot of time after that to then redirect your income in other ways that is going to grow your wealth and grow the generational wealth for your family. So I'm not saying don't upgrade. I'm saying take into consideration your age and stage in life, and whether you want to be paying a big mortgage all the way through to retirement, because if you do that, it's going to be much harder to get ahead. Now, what you can of course consider, and this is something that we still may consider, is still considering selling our house, but doing like a lateral upgrade, because we could sell our house and we could buy another house which is around about the same value, and so that means we're not taking on a new big fat mortgage for that house because it's around about the same value, and that means we still get a better house, and it might be a more appropriate house for our situation, with all our millions of kids running around the place, but we haven't taken on more debt. We've just shifted from one house to another house of about the same value. Right?
Yeah, because that's kind of what we decided, is that actually we need to prioritize right now building wealth and not, adding on a big mortgage. But that meant, well, my concern was, are we going to sacrifice the needs of the family, which is the third thing to consider. So what are the needs for your family? You might be watching this and saying, yeah, but we have one bathroom with 5 people and we're dying here, So obviously you could renovate and add a bathroom, potentially an ensuite or something, or you might decide, actually, we're going to upgrade because this is the house that we bought just to get in the market. We're going to do one upgrade, and then we'll shift our focus to wealth building, or to other things. So obviously, you do need to consider the needs of your family, because you don't want your owner-occupied house falling apart around you while you're trying to wealth build, because we're not proponents of just totally disregarding your own needs so you can put every penny into building wealth. You need to enjoy and love your life as well. So add that into the mix, and maybe it's a renovation, maybe it's a lateral upgrade where you're actually just shifting, having the same amount of a mortgage, but a different house that's better fit for you. Or you might decide, actually, I am actually going to upgrade, but I have some time before I can really focus on getting that mortgage down, doing some wealth building.
And just on the upgrade, like I've seen actually this quite a few times in the last 6 months, when people are upgrading and they're trying to go to a house that's almost double the value of their existing house. That's a massive upgrade. That's a massive amount of new debt that you're taking. You might be going from a $1 million house and you're trying to buy a $2 million house, or a $800,000 house and you're trying to buy a $1.3 million house or something like that. These are really big, fat, massive upgrades. And often it's unaffordable, and you have to take on a real massive mortgage to do that. And so, I would consider if you are going to upgrade to a more expensive house, maybe it only should be 100 or 200 or maybe 300,000 more expensive. It doesn't need to be 5, 6, 7, $800,000 more expensive, because that's probably a leap that's beyond most people when you're going up that much more. Even if you have had a good pay rise, in your mind you're feeling, hey, we've had pay rises and we're feeling rich. But I would just get you to think about, are you that rich? You could be overextending yourself.
And maybe do it in stages. I mean, you can say, after we've hit a certain financial target, then we'll renovate, right? So you might do an upgrade because you have time, you want to get a little bit more, but it's not $1 million to $2 million. Maybe you're adding a little bit to your mortgage, and then spend some time paying it down, getting a couple investment properties, and then once you have reached a certain goal that you've decided, then maybe you want to renovate to add that extra to your home to meet the needs that you have at that point. So there's option, and obviously you could always downgrade later on if you say, actually, my kids are getting older and they're leaving. Maybe an upgrade ends up actually being a downgrade, because you're going to improve your financial situation by just getting that lesser mortgage, and now that meets the needs of your family, and you can wealth build at the same time. So hopefully you guys like this video, and hopefully this was helpful for helping you decide whether to renovate or upgrade.
If you'd like to find out more, and if you'd like to chat about your situation, please feel free to book a 15-minute chat with me, and we'll have a brief chat about your situation and whether we should have a closer look after that, and decide if there's a course of action that you should be taking.
For more financial tips, advice, and education, subscribe to us on YouTube, and don't forget to hit that notification bell.